back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to All Things Faith, Love and Purpose. Welcome back to another episode of the Better Together Love Series. And today I am very excited about the couple that I'm featuring today. It is two people who are very special to my husband and I, two people who have a voice on influence of our lives. I'm talking about Pastor Jacob and Pastor Mazote Msipha, the pastors of Builders Church, and they also happen to be the best mentors in the whole wide world, guys. I'm not even being biased. But without wasting any more time, let's get right into their love journey, their love story. I'm very sure that you guys are going to learn so much from them. Thank you.
Hi guys, I am Mazote Msipha and this is my husband,
Jacob Msipha. Yes, the one and only husband. That's me. Okay, do you want to go first or must I go?
No, you can answer that.
Okay, how we met. We met for the first time in a restaurant in Durban, Pavilion Mall. It was at Sekas. I was invited for lunch by a sister friend from Guamashu Christian Center, and she happened to be there as well because she was a friend of that sister friend. That's how we met for the first time.
First impression for me, really on that day, as he was saying, that we met, I just saw a guy who loves God. That's it, nothing else. Like, that was my impression, that he loves the Lord.
And I was very thin and skinny during those days. Yeah, my impression of her was that she was beautiful. I was seeing her for the very first time in my life, of course, and I looked at her, and maybe I'll share later on what actually prompted me to give her attention. Yeah, but my first impression was that she's beautiful because I didn't know her that much on that day. Yeah.
Okay,
And he's blushing.
No, I'm not. Yeah, well, how it started really, like I said earlier, on that day, as we were having lunch, believe you me, it was just a prompting of the Holy Spirit. Like I always share the story that, I just had a voice clearly saying to me, this is your wife. And yeah, that's how, she caught my attention, because there were many ladies around the table that day. And she just so happened to have a similar phone as mine on that day. And as from that day, that's how I started reaching out to her. And of course, we had to follow church protocol. And
It's how old we are.
yeah, that's how old we are. And yeah, and then our pastor, our bishop, our spiritual father back then arranged for us to meet, and we started talking. And yeah, and then we agreed to kick things off. And that's how it happened. The protocol, no, it simply means I then had to speak to our spiritual parents concerning because it was coming from my side, of course, at that stage. So it was just to alert them, to say, here's something that I have in my heart concerning so and so. Back then, I didn't have really a strong relationship with my spiritual father. It was with my spiritual mother. So I was kind of scared to directly speak to my spiritual father back then, because, I was not that not familiar, but I haven't been at KCC back then for a long time. So I first spoke to my spiritual mother because I came through her, and she kind of helped to introduce the matter to my spiritual father.
Love at first sight, no. For me, no, because remember, at the restaurant, we were just brothers and sisters having lunch, and we were from church. So, like, no, not for me.
It's kind of different how it happened with us, because like I said, it was not me looking at her and saying, wow, she's beautiful, I love her, or whatever the case may be. Like I said, the thing that kick-started the whole thing was that audible voice, that said this is, and then that's how I started developing interest. And then, of course, love kicks in. The more you talk, the more then, butterflies and stuff like that. Okay.
Well, you know, us girls, I was ready to get married when I did not have the person to get married to.
You're kind of already waiting. When is the man coming?
I had the dress, I had the makeup that I wanted. Every girl's dream, So we dated for a year, and then we got married in February the 12th.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So it was quite kind of quick, but it was not that quick. But from the time we started dating, our eyes already were on the plans to say we really need to, because remember back then I was also sort of discovering my calling, and I was just being embraced as a spiritual son at KCC. So also our spiritual parents sort of advised us not to drag this thing too long, because then it might interfere with many other things. So but it was quite an interesting process. From my side, I have been praying for a wife and marriage, and for years, so it was just a question of when will I see, when will I find? So eventually I found. So I did not want to waste any time, because at that point I've been reading, I've been praying, I've been,
And I think it's actually a year including the lobola negotiations and preps for the wedding. Yeah.
That whole going down on my knees thing, no.
Actually, you must do it.
I don't mind. I mean, I think we didn't, she didn't expect me to.
No.
So, and at that point I was, of course, romantically useless, and if there's a word like that, I didn't know much. I was just a township boy that all I knew was, no, I love you, I want to marry you, and that's it.
Okay.
And she made it easy for me, and I'm grateful to God for that. I must say that's a very important principle or thing to observe. And the issue is, many Christians, I think, and even non-Christians, I think they don't get the whole point of why. Many people look at it from just a religious point of view. They think it's just a religious thing to do, but there's much more to it. Of course, the foundation and the basis of it is that God has commanded us to do things, in that way. But there are a whole lot of other things that God is also protecting us from. Because at that point, you're not really sure if will you eventually get married, So it's always safe to wait until you get married. And then at that point, that you are in it, you are married, then you are much more safer. So we kind of believed in the same thing. And like we said, the church, where we were at, it kind of sort of also helped, because that's the also kind of thing that they also taught and stood for. And yeah, we had to.
As you heard earlier, on the first day he saw me, God spoke to him. So obviously God is the foundation of our marriage. And of course I also had to pray. I was not going to just take his word for
it was a very scary wait.
I was not just going to take his word for it. So God has really played a critical role in terms of confirming for me, and in terms of also showing him and opening his eyes to say this is the one. So he has played a critical role in as far as that is concerned. And also going forward, being a married couple, our foundation is God. Everything that we do according to the principles of the word of God, and we put God first. So he's playing a very critical role even to date.
Even if I can add something, I think more than anything else, because we are Christians and we have a relationship with God, it's much more safer to depend on God, in a sense that, even when we fall short in terms of working things out the way that we're expecting one another to work them out, and if we fall short as human beings, the role of God comes in, and I think it helps to bring us back on track, and also helping us to continue honoring one another. In most cases, I say, more than anything else, we get to benefit from our relationships with God. So my fear of God will also make me to be faithful to her. You know what I mean? Because she's human. If I'm just saying I'm faithful because of her, it's not a safe thing to do, because there's a point where I look at her and say, but I'm not afraid of her, or But if my fear and honor for God is intact, then she gets to benefit from that. And vice versa.
Oh, well, no. For me, that was not easy, I must be honest, especially because there was quite a lot that changed when I got married. I had to leave home.
Live and cleave.
I had to leave home. I had to leave
your job,
my job, my
church,
my hometown, my church. Like, I was literally changing everything, changing the provinces, changing churches, changing homes, changing my last name.
It took some time though to change it on her IT, I must say.
So so I had to sort of learn quite a lot quickly, So it was not easy. However, he really tried his best to help me out to adjust. But other than that, to be quite honest, it was not an easy journey for me because of the reasons that I have mentioned. There was really quite a lot that I had to adjust to.
And of course it won't be easy, because many people sometimes look at challenges that might be there in terms of interracial marriages. But even the fact that I'm Ndebele from Mpumalanga, she's Zulu from KZN, that on its own, coming from a big family, I'm from a small family, all of those things we had to relearn,
Sorry.
We bind you. So we had to sort of try and unlearn and learn quite a lot, just to build our new way, a new culture, if I might call it that, new way of doing things, our own way, on the basis of who we are and our relationship with God. Yeah, so it was quite an adjustment. But if you are willing to make that adjustment, then it helps. Yeah.
Well, for me, it was not easy, especially because the church was still small, and there was not much for me to do. And remember, I'm from the corporate, and I'm used to having a lot of work every day, and I'm used to waking up and going to the office every day. And back then, there was not much to do. If there was much to be done, Mfundisi would do it, and maybe I will have just a few things to do, and then after that, I don't know what else to do. So that was a bit challenging for me. Number two, the church did not have money to pay me. So even that was...
I was not getting paid as well.
Yes,
anyway.
we were both of us were not getting paid, because we were building from the ground up, of which we understood. Both of us were on the same page about it. We really understood that we are still building, and however, it does not mean that it was easy not to be paid, because there were bills to be paid, and our children were still very, very small. I think our firstborn was 1 and the secondborn was 2 months, right? No.
Somewhere there.
Yeah, somewhere there. But they were still very small. So it was not easy. However, my spiritual mother really helped me out in terms of dealing with the transition, and helping me to understand that it's actually better to sacrifice early than to sacrifice later. So it really, really helped me a great deal. So I held on to her words of it's better to just do it now, because you don't know what's going to be there behind the curtain you are scared of opening. So that was encouraging for me. Looking back, I say it was worth it. Everything that we had to endure, everything that we had to go through, everything that we had to sacrifice, it was worth it. And God is faithful indeed.
Yeah, well, I guess from my side, I wouldn't even change anything, It was a journey that had quite a lot of lessons. We, during that time, acquired quite a lot of wisdom. And like my wife was saying, we are grateful to the spiritual parents we had, because they had to kind of hold us by the hand and, be that voice of reason during times where quite a lot was not making sense. And I appreciated every moment of it, as much as it was not easy, but I appreciate every moment of it, and it actually contributed to who we are today. It added to the spices of our anointing today, So, we are grateful to God for that particular time. And like I said, we were learning to put everything in place. Remember, it was our first, so we had to learn while building. So, we are grateful. Marriage. 3 words. Word-based, if I may call it that. Godly,
godly,
word-based, and loving.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, must I go first? Do you want to go first?
There's a lot, but what I love the most is his honesty. It gives me security. The fact that I know he's a very honest man across the board. because sometimes you would think that someone is honest, but only to find that they are only honest at one
Area.
aspect or one area. Maybe they are honest at church, and when they get home, they are
The
no longer
honesty is
the
no longer
honesty is
honest.
no longer there. Or maybe they
The
are
honesty
honest.
data is finished.
Or maybe they are honest.
Sorry.
Or maybe they are honest when it comes to finances, and maybe they are dishonest in what they are preaching, because you know. So such things, but he has proven to be honest and consistent in it for all these years. So yeah, that's what I love the most, and it gives me security, even though you did not ask me why, but it gives me security.
Yeah, no, what I love about my wife is her bravery. She's a very brave woman. I mean, even what she was saying earlier about her leaving her home, literally, I mean, that's like 600 kilometers away from where she was staying, to come to a small, almost non-existent church, which was just a vision back then. It takes a brave woman to do that. I was not even employed back then. So she just believed that whatever that I was sharing with her in terms of the vision of where we are going, she just believed that, stepped out. And that's the main thing that I love about her.
I see.
Yes, what do you see?
He's being naughty.
What do you see?
I see us getting old together, and walking, just loving the Lord still, and mentoring many others who will come after us, and doing whatever we want to do, and having other people run what we are running right now. But with us, we are just chilling.
Yeah.
And that's what I see.
Yeah, man. I think to sum it all up, I see us just reaping all the rewards of all of the sacrifices that we've made. I mean, there's quite a lot that we could not, I can't say enjoy, but things that we chose to put on hold and sacrifice just for the sake of the call of God upon our lives, upon our family. And we are grateful to God that even our kids, at this stage, and we pray that it stays like that they are also passionate and loving what we do. So we just see ourselves reaping all the rewards, man, and having lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of money, and going everywhere we want to go, and doing everything that we want to do at that point. Yeah, if we want to get on a boat somewhere, if we want to go to Miami, yep.
It has taught me that I'm actually brave.
Like I said.
Yeah, like you said, like I never looked at myself that way. I always thought there are things that I can never be able to stand, but I've seen myself being resilient and standing regardless. So I think that's what I've learned, and also that I am very forgiving, because in marriage, if you are not forgiven, you are going to have a serious problem. In marriage, the scripture that says you must forgive
70 times 7.
70 times 7.
Yeah.
In a day.
Yeah.
Because when you are married, you annoy each other, you offend each other, so you must really, really be someone who is forgiving. So I've learned that actually I am forgiving, and I've learned.
Did she say one thing?
She said one thing.
Yeah.
Yes, but go with it.
No, you can mention 5. It's not a problem.
Yes, that.
Yeah. Me, it has taught me patience. I was a very short-tempered person growing up, and because in marriage you have to listen, you have to pause, listen. So I had to learn to slow down a bit and be in a position to listen and be patient. I think that's the main thing, which of course is coupled with then it needs to come with willingness to change in the process. Yeah, man. I wish I knew that marriage will stretch you. Hey, I was going to prepare for that, because I guess when you're still young and naive, of course, and you want to get married, you're thinking about the lovey-dovey side of it, but you don't really realize that marriage will stretch you. It will pull things out of you that you never knew were there. Marriage will expose hidden demons, if I may call them that. Marriage will shine a spotlight on areas of your life that you never knew they were there, or they can be even a problem for that matter. Because when you grow up and you live your life, there's quite a lot of things that affect you, some negatively, some positively, and I think you will never know how much you're affected by those things until you get married. Yeah. If I knew that, I was going to prepare more and prepare well for it, because I think it's much more safer to deal with those things before you get married and come in whole, if I may call it that. Then I think then your marriage will become better back then. But we just prepare many other things, but we just don't take time to even look at those hidden demons and dark areas that you never knew were there.
I wish I knew that time flies. Like there is no need for me to waste time being angry, and no need to waste time being angry. It doesn't really matter. There are things that don't really matter, there's no need for you to waste time being angry and being maybe bitter or holding grudges and bringing tension into the marriage. It's a waste of time. If I knew that, and the fact that you just need to be honest, speak your truth in love, and not want to react instead of sitting down and stating your truth, to say, I don't like it when you do this, or I don't appreciate it when you don't do this, or you do this, So yeah, I feel like that is just one thing. In fact, I've been thinking about it in the past few weeks. I was talking to a young couple to say it's a waste of time, really, because at the end of the day, you will come back and you will be fine. And you have wasted energy. You have wasted 2 days of happiness and joy and love, and peace. So if I knew that back then, I would have practiced it. And yeah, that is one thing I feel I wish I knew. Because I'm not the kind of a person who loves tension. I don't like tension. Like, I just want in fact, maybe it's not a good thing. I don't know, but I wish everyone can just always be happy and be at peace. So
which is not always possible.
Yes, which is not always possible.
Yeah.
So when there is tension, I really don't like it. So I feel like if I knew back then that really you can actually sit down and talk about things and move on, it would have made life easier for me. Exactly what I just said. Exactly what I just said. That would be my
Don't
advice.
waste time.
Don't waste time. Sit down and talk. In marriage, you must talk. There is no one who is coming to save you. You must save yourself from heartache. You must save yourself from bitterness. You must save yourself from what do they call it? From poisoning the water you are going to drink from.
The very same well.
The very same well
that is supposed to refresh you.
Exactly, that is supposed to refresh you, and you are the one putting poison in it. So if I were to tell someone who will listen and practice it, they would come back and thank me later to say, you know what, sit down and talk. No one is going to die when you talk.
Yeah.
And no, your marriage is not going to break when you say. In fact, you are building your marriage when you say, I don't like certain things and I love certain things. I don't appreciate certain things and I appreciate certain things.
Yeah.
And in marriage, there's no need for you to be the same.
Yeah.
You're not the same person. You are your own individual, and your partner is their own individuals. So you need to complement one another. Don't want to be exactly like your partner. There are things that your partner will like, but you won't like. But if you pretend as though you like them just because he likes them, then you are shooting yourself on the foot.
Yeah.
Because then you will have to pretend for the rest of your life, which is impossible.
Yeah.
Life is long.
At some point you will break.
At some point you will break. So just be honest. Your marriage will not break because you mentioned the fact that there is something you don't appreciate or there is something that you don't like. So be honest, talk about things, and don't waste time living in tension and anger, whereas you can just sit down, talk about things. In marriage, you must always talk. Always.
Yeah, be honest, but don't be blunt.
Yes.
Be honest in a very loving way, because sometimes your honesty can harm another person, but from my side, really, especially taking from what my wife said regarding strong points and not being the same, I don't want to call it a philosophy of marriage, but because something kind of like that is that there has to be grace in marriage, because many of us, because of where we come from, how we grew up, you will come in with certain good qualities in marriage, but also with certain not so good qualities. And both of you, no husband or no wife will be 100%, perfect. So be gracious in dealing with your partner's weak points, because one day you will need the same grace when your weaknesses are showing. And when I say weaknesses, I don't mean wickedness, because there's a difference between being weak and being wicked. Those are two different things. So, but in your weaknesses, things that you don't do well, accept it early enough in marriage that there are things that your partner will not do well. And there are things that you will not do well. And when those cracks are showing, grace needs to kick in and understand that this is the shortcoming. And of course, be willing to, in your weaknesses, be willing to improve your weaknesses. But while your partner is still working on them, show grace, because you will need it, believe you me. You can be too quick to take out your sword and you are like this, and then before you know it, in a week's time or in a day, the following day,
You're the one.
your own weaknesses show up, and you will not appreciate if the same attitude or attack is used against you. So show grace at all times. It will be fine, and don't be too hard on yourselves if you fall short in one area or the other. Don't be too hard on yourselves. No one is perfect. Nobody's perfect. Believe you me, nobody's perfect. Pastors included. This one especially. I'm not perfect. Yep.
That I love him. That is just one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for the love. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
My life makes sense because of you. Yes.
Thank you.
So yeah, guys, that's it from the Msiphas. I hope that you guys enjoyed the conversation as much as we did. Personally, I've taken a few nuggets that I'll obviously implement in my marriage. And right now it's about time to play the couples quiz. So without wasting any more time, let us get right into it. Okay, so the first question is, who made the first move? I think this one is obvious.
Yes.
Who is most likely to start an argument? Who is most likely always late? Who says I'm sorry first? It's always the woman. Who is more stubborn? Both of you.
Am I stubborn? Oh my God.
When you're stubborn, you never admit that you're stubborn.
Yeah.
Who eats the most? Who is better at buying gifts? Both of you guys, that's nice. Who remembers the most important dates? Murit is not sure.
I don't forget dates.
You don't, so okay, good, so both of you, okay. Who dances better?
Oh. Oh.
Can I dance?
Of course.
Better than you.
You dance
Better
better
than
than
me.
you. Who is more organized? Okay. Who cooks better? This is obvious.
Definitely.
Muruti, can you cook though?
No.
Eggs.
Just eggs, just the basics.
Yeah.
Who spends more money? It's both. And lastly, who is more social? Really? Okay.
Absolutely.
I didn't know that. But that's it for the questions. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for honoring the
You're
invite.
welcome.
It is
You're
a big
most
deal,
welcome,
you guys,
yeah.
that we are here. But I'm sure you can see. I'm sure, judging by the interview, you can see why I had to have them here. But thank you
for
so
having
much.
us.
No, thank you, Ma. Thank you for watching this video. If you like to give it a big thumbs up. If you're watching this and you're not subscribed to my channel, press that subscribe button. We are on the way to 5,000 subscribers, which is very exciting.
Yay.
So, yeah, thank you so much for watching, you guys. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.